Hello and welcome back to TCBC Ride Leader Training. In this video we'll talk about creating an event in the RideStats software. As we talked about in the introductory episode, an event is setting up the template upon which rides will be created off of. We also talked about a Monday evening ride to Stillwater as an event, as a series of rides, and then each individual ride being the ride itself. So let's go ahead and actually create that event. So you can see that I'm logged into the RideStats software as a ride leader, and I'm going to click on the calendar icon here and say Create Events. The information that we set up our template with is going to be the basic information about the ride series or the event we're creating. So we will go ahead and give it a name, Monday evenings to Stillwater. We'll give it the date range. So in this case, since we want to create an event that could run the course of our season, because we want to run it on a semi-regular basis, we'll go ahead and set today as the beginning date, and then we'll set the end of the ride season as our end date. So in this case, the end of the ride season for TCBC is the end of October. We'll set up the times that this event could start at. So we would say between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. over the course of the season is probably a good window for scheduling a ride. And since this is a Monday evening ride, we'll select Mondays. Our terrain can be rolling, and we'll set the mileage between 20 and 32 miles. So you can see in this case we're setting up ranges, but it's not all encompassing. Any day, any time, any miles. We're setting up a nice template for what we want to do. And in this case now we can also put in a description, what the ride is going to generally be like. So I have some text that I'll go ahead and paste in that I prepared for this, and you can see it's just going to be an easygoing recovery ride on the Gateway Trail, or it's going to be stay together at a relaxed pace with a quick rest stop at the midpoint. Since the ride probably is not going to change a whole lot from that, that is a perfectly fine description. You're saying what the event and what an individual ride is generally going to be like, and then you can edit it to taste once we start scheduling it. So with all of our basic information being put in, we'll go ahead and click on Continue. This will bring us then to the ride leaders that can schedule individual occurrences of this event or rides. So in this case, I can go ahead and put in ride leaders by their member number, in which you can find them. I can add them. I can search by their last name and add them. Or I can do a combination of their first name and last name and add them that way. Multiple ways to search. It should also be noted that for an event, if there's another ride leader that would like to lead this ride as well, you can come back into this event, edit it, and add them. So this isn't locked in stone or set in stone, but it's setting up the template of what our ride series is going to look like for the season. With my ride leaders being entered, I can click on the Continue button, and I'll be brought to a screen where I can now enter the ride start locations for the ride. Since this is going to be out of our partner Gateway Cycles, I'll start typing in Gateway Cycle, and you can see that I found them. So I can go ahead, add them, and now I have my ride start added. Now, if you were to start entering information and your ride start wasn't listed, I can click on the new location button, enter in the address, find the location where I want to start, and when I save it, it's going to add it to the overall library of ride start locations. So if I create an event in the future that I want to start from this location, I'll now have it saved and be able to find it via the drop-down box and search. Since this is the only location that I plan on leading the ride from, I can now go ahead and click on Continue. At this point, all of the basic information needed for my event has now been entered. If I need to go back and review any of the information, I can expand by clicking on the plus any of the information that I've already entered regarding the event. But at this point, I am satisfied with the information that I've been sent, that I've entered, so I'm going to save the event. It's going to ask me to confirm, and at that point, I'm set. The ride is now entered and awaiting approval. So in the meantime, we're going to wait for approval, and in the next video, we're going to go ahead and start scheduling a ride based off of this event that we've just created.